Thank you for being a part of the installation team for the Dior Premium Incase. We're going to go through a brief installation guide as a visual tool as you assemble these. Please keep in mind that Dior is a premium brand that expects details and quality installation, which we know that we are very confident in your craftsmanship and your mechanical skills. First thing to identify is which box has the label such as this, the installation instructions in this box. That will give you the packet here, which you can see multiple pages here, which we strongly suggest for you to read prior to the installation, giving you some general contact information. If there's any issues with the installation, you run into any roadblocks, it gives you a priority of who to contact when those issues come up. The next slide is the quality standards that details specifically what Dior is going to focus on. They are very critical in regards to gaps in seams, and I'll explain that a little bit later, scratches, but please read through that information. It has some general guidelines for some tool requirements that you'll be able to see here, but we assume that you'll have power drills with multiple bits, socket systems that would be able to allow for anything that needs to be adjusted. In that packet, you'll also want to identify specifically the cases that are being merchandised. The cases should be cleared out and there should be product in the appropriate case. So you see a case that has Miss Dior, it's going to have the appropriate product in there to be merchandised, as the same as the J'adore case will be empty with just the bottles and the product that you'll want to reestablish into the case. The next slide here is with the storage boxes. It identifies how many go in each of the premium Incases, 6 for this particular J'adore and 3 for the Miss Dior. The next slide is the merchandising layout. This is very critical. It's very important that the way that the bottles are placed and the spacing of them are properly aligned, as well as the open product versus the packaged product. You can see the multiple sizes. This will be a very critical step that gets properly followed. And the two different variations will be a 35-inch shelf system and then a 50-inch shelf system. And they'll be identified in your packet when you receive those. The next thing is we provided you with some essential tools that you'll need, or some basic tools that you'll need. Some acrylic cleaning product. Please note that you cannot use anything with ammonia on acrylic. It'll craze the acrylic. We provided double-sided tape. We provided a special fingerprinting eraser, some white linen gloves, some bolts. These are some extra hardware pieces here that are used for the cam system, which should be easy for assembly. A black paint pen just for touch-up for any nicks on the black acrylic area or any surface areas that are black. And a few extra screws as well that are critical for the installation. Next, we're going to go through is the light box. You will all have received a light box. This is the light box support system here. This system here is equipped with a LumaSheet, and it has a power cord. The extension, the power cord and the adapters here are approximately 20 feet long, so it should be sufficient to get to any areas. You may have to do some drilling at the lowercase system in order to get this to the closest power source. And be sure that all of the connectors here are either electrically taped closed, and you can loop them around so that when someone pulls on them, it's not going to pull the connection apart. Continuing with the light box, you'll see that there is a light box diffuser. This piece of acrylic is placed over the light box. Please note that there is a protective film over the LumaSheet here, which will need to be removed, and then you'll simply put this diffuser in place there as you're setting that up. The next thing, when you receive the box that has the J'adore or the Miss Dior, the way that it'll be received is just the flat panel here. It will have the shelves on it already. It'll have the visual in place and the logo. The bottom system here will not be on that when you receive it. Our recommended first step is to put the Lightbox structure system, which you'll see has a cam system here with pre-drills right here for you to be able to attach the actual Lightbox structure to the partition wall. The next thing we advise is to use the side support systems here. This is another cam system, as you can see here. I'm sure you're all aware with the CAN system using the arrow point to lock and unlock. This will allow you to stabilize it. We've added some tape here on the top of this so that if there's a difference in the gap between the top and the acrylic piece, that allows you to be able to have that snug down. A part of that system is a center bracket here. This center bracket system will help support the acrylic top shelf. The acrylic top shelf is labeled as top shelf, and it shows a face. So when it's pointing to face, the face is the polished edge. The face always goes to the outside. So it'll be a line like this. We have the protective film on there to ensure that there's no scratches. You'll have to mount this in the appropriate place. It is not pre-drilled, but it's for you to go ahead and mount in the appropriate place that gives you the best support. This is a very critical component of the installation, that this top shelf is flush to the top, and when you're looking at it from the front side, you really want to minimize those gaps. So you'll want to have it so that you try to minimize the gaps. You can use some of the double-sided tape. Make sure the tape is towards the back of the partition wall and not visible from the visible eye. That is a very important, critical, key factor in regards to the quality of the actual installation. The next part we're going to move to is the light box panels. So the light box panels is, you'll see that it has the light box, which you'll have installed through the back, through the CAN system such as this, and then you'll take your panels, such as the top piece. The top piece would simply just go on top. In this case, it's over at the appropriate sizes here. And now you'll see that there are sides on the light box support system, but we provided these side panels here. So you'll want to make sure that these side panels are aligned to the very edge of the top piece. And there should be some pre-drill systems. You'll be able to see that we've already had some pre-drill systems here for you to be able to thread it through the back. You'll take the top piece here, and please note that it is identified here. It'll say Dior light box top face. This is an angled piece. Please note that there is an angle. You can see that it's at an angle and it's been flame polished. Very critical that that's facing out. And then the light box face is this, where it has a reversed out logo. And that would align perfectly with the light. And when you have the diffuser there, you pull the protective film off, it'll be able to illuminate the light properly. This is an extremely critical part of the installation, that the alignment of this is flush and no gaps, and try to keep this nice and solid together. You may have to use some double-sided tape, but it's very important that this top face is a very visible piece right here. It is well taken care of. It should line up properly. You should have the side systems here to be able to support it and be able to stay into place. The last thing we want to talk about is the importance of the shelves here as well. The shelves all have a protective film on them, so you want to make sure you peel all this film off of all the shelves, keeping it nice and clean prior to the final installation. Again, this is a very critical customer for us. They're very much into the details. Take your time, do it right. We've designed it in a way so it's using CAN systems, which should be very easy. Please note, when you do receive the partition wall, in order for you to assemble this and put it into the case, you will have to remove the bolts from behind the bottom shelf so that you can split the system open to put one panel in after another. In the back, you'll be able to see, here's all the pre-drills and holes for that shelf. You'll have to remove all of these so that you can be able to use the CAN system. We've taken it out, as you can see, but the CAN system, 1, 2, 3 points right here. You'll undo those to be able to release the system. And then you can put one panel in at a time. The left panel we suggest, and you put that with a light box fixture housing system to be able to lock that in. And then you'll put the second panel in, and ensuring that the visuals stay in place. We recommend that you get the visual with the frame in place prior to locking the cam system in so it fits in properly. That should conclude the installation of the Dior Premium In-Case. Again, if you have specific questions on site, please contact the appropriate people on the contact sheet list, and we will go ahead and respond quickly and assist in any way. Thank you very much.